Dear student, once again I welcome you to my online class. I hope you are fine. I am also fine by the grace of Almighty Allah. Alhamdulillah that we are still safe from coronavirus because coronavirus is spreading so fast in our country. You are passing your time ideally sitting at home. As students, you cannot waste your valuable time. We always try to keep you engaged in studies. That's why I am here today to deliver a lecture on a very important topic, and it is right form verb. You know that right form verb is the heart of English. If you know how to use verb properly, then you can easily make any kind of sentence, and you will be able to write any kind of paragraph, composition or letter, etc. So watch my lecture attentively, and I hope that if you watch it carefully, you will be able to solve any kind of problem regarding right form verb. So let's start. Rules number 1. So in our sentence, if we have always, sometimes, generally, usually, often, normally, if we have these words in our sentence, we say it is present indefinite tense. Remember these things. So if we have always, sometimes, generally, usually in our sentence, we call it is present indefinite tense. And in present indefinite tense, that means the base form of verb or present form of verb. And one more important thing. So if the subject third person singular number, then we have to add s or es with the verb. This is very important thing. Though it is very easy rules, very often we make mistakes. So remember this thing. If the subject third person singular number, we have to add s or es with the main verb. So this is very important thing. And look the example. A good student always learn his lesson. Here we find always. It is the symbol of present indefinite tense, and the subject is a good student. It is third person singular number. A good student, third person singular number. Then the answer will be learns. Why learns? Because it is third person singular number and it is present indefinite tense. We know if it is present indefinite and subject third person singular number, we have to add s or es. That's why we have added learn s, and the answer is learns. Example number 2. They sometimes visit London. Here sometimes also the symbol of present indefinite tense. This is also present indefinite tense, but the answer is same. Why? The answer is same. Why we did not add s or es? Because here they is subject and it is plural subject. It is plural subject. That means if we have plural subject, then the answer will be the plural verb. If we have singular subject, the answer will be singular. That means with singular subject we use s or es, but if we have plural subject we cannot use s or es. Remember this thing. Though this is third person, but this is plural subject. That's why we did not add s or es. So our rules is, if subject third person singular number, then we will add s or es. If it is plural number or first person, then we will use the base form of verb. So this is very important thing. So that means singular subject follow singular verb, plural subject follow plural verb. So now rules number 2. Modal auxiliary. This is also very important. Why? Because today I will discuss only about 10 rules, and you will find all these rules are very important, because if you learn these 10 rules, you will be able to solve any kind of problem regarding right form verb, inshallah. So this is also very important rule. So the modal auxiliary is can, could, may, might, shall, should, will, would, must. These are the modal auxiliaries, and after modal auxiliary we have to use the base form of verb. That means present form of verb. So having an example, we should love our country. Here should is a modal auxiliary. Should, modal auxiliary, and after modal auxiliary we use the base form of verb. That means the answer will be the same thing. We should love our country. So if we write down another sentence, the answer will be the same thing. You must not waste time. So what will be the answer? The answer will be the same. That means the answer will be waste. Why? Because here we find must. Must is a modal auxiliary. So we know that after modal auxiliary we have to use the base form of verb. This is also very important thing. Now rules number 3. So if we have in our sentence, now at this moment at present day by day, we say it is present continuous tense. Remember the word, very important. Now at this moment at present day by day. if we have these words in our sentence, we will say it is present indefinite tense, in present continuous tense, and we have to follow this structure. Am is there plus ing with verb. So if we have present continuous tense, we have to write the answer like this: am is there plus ing with main verb. So the answer will be he play cricket now. Here now is the symbol of present continuous tense. Now is the symbol of present continuous tense. Then we have to follow this structure. So answer will be he is playing cricket now. Why is playing? Because here now is a symbol of present continuous tense, and we know that the structure of present continuous is am is there plus ing. So that's why we have written this structure. So now rules number 4. If we have just now, yet, ever, recently, lately, already, we say this is present perfect tense. Very important thing. Just now, yet, ever, recently, lately, already. Already is very important word. Most of the time we see this already and recently. We find these two words in our exam. So if we have these words in our sentence, we say this is present perfect tense, and we have to follow this structure. Have has plus verb 3 or present past participle form of verb. Remember this thing. If we have this word in our sentence, we say it is present perfect tense, and we have to follow this structure. Have has plus verb 3. That means verb 3 means the past participle form of verb. So now he already do it. Here we find already the symbol of, we know already the symbol of present perfect tense, and that's how we have to follow this structure. The answer will be he has done it. So one more thing, where we will use has and where we will use have. This is very important thing. Very often the student make mistake using have or has. I want to clear you that if we have third person singular number, then we use has. That means if the subject is third person singular number, then we have to use has. If subject without third person singular number, then we have to use have. We just come home. So the answer will be we have just come home. Why? Because just is also symbol of present perfect tense, and we have to follow this structure. That means have come, because we plural subject. He third person singular number, that's why we have used has plus verb 3, and we plural number plural subject, that's why we have used have plus verb 3. So, and one more thing, here just now and here only now. So if we have only now, then we will use present continuous tense, and if we have just now, we will use present perfect tense. Remember this thing, don't make mistake. Now rule number 5. This is also a very important rule, because from this rule we find some examples in our exam. Very often we find this kind of rules. So now if we have yesterday, wish, it is high time, ago, before, last, past indicative words. Past indicative word means long ago, once upon a time, one day. These are the past indicative words. That means in our sentence, if we find these words or past indicative words, then we say it is past indicative. This is very important. Remember this thing. So if we have these words, it is past indicative, and then we have to follow this structure. That means we have to make the past form of the verb. So have an example. It is high time you do something for your family. So it is high time means past indicative tense. It is high time. If we have it is high time, that means it is past indicative tense, and then we have to use the past form of the verb. So the past form of do is did. The answer will be did. Why did? Because we have it is high time. One more example. Yesterday I go to London. Here yesterday means past indicative tense. So we have to use the past form of the verb. So the past form of the go is went. That means the answer will be I went to London. Remember this thing, though it is very simple rules, it is very important, and you have to face this kind of example in your exam very often. So dear students, so remember, so if we have these words, we have to use past form of the verb. Just past form of the verb. Rule number 6. This is another important one. Have, has, had, having, been, be, been, did one. You have to remember these words. this is the combination of many rules. I have combined these rules together. So you have to remember this thing, and it is also an important one. So if we have has, had, having, being, be, been, get, one, we have to use verb 3 or past participle form of verb. That means after these words we have to use the past participle form of verb 3 form of. That means the answer it can be solved easily. Here be, so be. After be, we know we have to use the past participle form of verb. That means the answer will be solved. Remember this thing. This is very important. And if we think another one, he has performed it. So here has, after had we have to use the third form of verb. That will be performed. He has performed it. So remember this thing. After these words we have to use the past participle form of verb. So dear student, now rules number 7. So after preposition, I have written some common preposition. We have many more prepositions, but I have written some common preposition that we face in our examination. So in, on, of, for, from, by, with, without, and why. These are very common prepositions that we get in our exam. So after this preposition we have to use ing form of verb. Remember this thing, very important. So after this preposition we have to use the ing form of verb. That means we have to add ing with the base form of verb. So the example is, he helps me in learning it. Here in is a preposition. So after preposition we have to use ing. The answer will be learning. So he helps me in learning English. So this is very important. After preposition we have to use the ing form of verb. Remember this thing. But we have some exception. That is to. To also preposition. To also preposition. But after to we have to use the base form of verb. We have learned after preposition we use ing form of verb, but after to we have to use the base form of verb. This is the exception. So to or in order to. After that we have to use the base form of verb. That means the example is, we have to work hard to prosper in life. To also preposition, but after to we have to use the base form. That means the answer will be the same, prosper. We did not use ing because after to we have to use the base form of verb. Rules number 9. Here is also we find to, with a view to, look forward to, get used to, contribute to. Here we also find to, and there are some other words, mind, help, worth. And after these words we have to use ing form of verb. Very important thing, remember this thing. So after to, base form of verb, but if we have with a view to together, if we have with a view to together, look forward to together, get used to, or contribute to, then we have to use the ing form of verb. Very important thing. And we have written some important word, mind, help, work. After these words also we have to use the ing form of verb. Look at the example. He came here with a view to get food. So here with a view to together, and we know after with a view to we have to use the ing form. So he came here with a view to getting food. The answer will be getting. So though here is two, but as we have with a view to together, that's why we have used ing form of verb. Remember this thing, to and with a view to. After to we have to use base form. After with a view to we have to use ing form. Rules number 10. Having two verbs in a simple sentence. That means in a simple sentence, if we have two verbs, we have to follow these 3 rules. That means in a simple sentence, if we have two verbs, we have 3 rules. Number 1, with the bracket verb. Remember this thing. With the bracket verb, we have to use ing form, or we have to use to plus verb present form, or we have to use the past participle form of verb. That means we have 3 rules. Once again, this is very important thing. In a simple sentence, if we have two verbs, we have 3 rules. Number 1, we have to ing form with the bracket verb, or we have to use to plus verb present form, or we have to use the past participle form of verb. And here is the example. I saw him play cricket. Here saw is another verb. Remember this thing. Here saw is another verb and here play is a bracket verb. That's why I have used ing form. That means the answer will be I saw him playing cricket. Why playing? Because it's a simple sentence and here are two verbs. So we cannot use two verbs in a same simple sentence. That's why we have to use the ing form. And another example, they start, think of it. Start is another verb. So the bracket verb is to. That means the answer will be to think. They start to think of it. That means to plus verb present form. And then that is another one, past participle verb, steps. Steps taken by him are excellent. So the answer will be verb 3 form. Steps taken by him are excellent, because here another verb is are is another verb, and we cannot use the two verb in the same simple sentence. That's why we have used the verb 3 form. So where we may have a question, where we will use the ing form, or where we will use 2 plus verb 1, or where we will use verb 3 form. So remember this thing, and we have to understand the meaning first. According to the meaning, we have to use these 3 rules. Basically, in active sentence we use 2 rules, and in passive sentence we use these rules. So this is very important. So, and if you learn these rules, you will be able to solve this kind of thing. And now rules number 11, and this is last rule. So sometimes we find this rule in our examination, and this is also very important, and it will be very helpful in your completing sentence as well. So learn this thing, as if or as though. And if we have present indefinite before as if, and then we have to use past indefinite after as if. Remember this thing, before as if we have present tense, and we have to use past indefinite after as if. And once again, before as if we have past indefinite, after we have to use past perfect tense. That means if we have present tense, we have to use past tense. If we have past indefinite, we have to use past perfect tense. This is very important. So now I have an example. He speaks as if he knows everything. Here speaks is a present tense. That means we have to write the past indefinite tense. So he knew everything, because before as if we have present tense. That's why we have written past tense after and after as if. So these are the very important rules. Dear students, if you learn these 11 rules properly, I hope you will be able to solve any kind of problem regarding right from verb. And for better performance, you have to practice a lot. And my suggestion, after learning or after watching the video, try to practice the board question first. And if you practice some board questions, then you will easily be able to solve any kind of problems, and you will find right from verb very easy. Thank you all. Stay home, stay safe.